Good morning, I'm Ilka Oster.
Morning, I'm Jo Drennan. And can we keep the passion alive in our relationship when we go through those years of parenting?
Oh, it's a big question, isn't it? I'm not sure how many people would tackle parenting. Everyone talks about parenting, we keep it to parenting, but then we put, keeping passion alive in our intimate relationship with our partner with parenting. Are we game to put the two of those together, Jo? I know this, oh my goodness, I couldn't have even talked about this 5 years ago. especially not publicly.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really want to address is something that I've been listening to an amazing relationship therapist called Esther Perel, and she talks about how when we first meet our partners, there's a deep subconscious need that they are normally filling in us, something that we feel like we don't have. And for me,
but not necessarily aware of it. So
it's subconscious. We're not really aware of it, and it's only probably looking back in hindsight now that I can see, yes, I definitely did this when I was, in my early 20s. When I met my husband, I had a childhood where there was a lot of ups and downs, not very much what I would say certainty. In some areas of my life I had a lot of certainty, but with my dad being a businessman, we'd moved 4 times by the time I was 4. There was just so much uncertainty as well. Didn't know when he'd be home at night, what was going to be happening, whether he was going to be away, whether he wouldn't be. Never really knew what was going to happen from one day to the next. Now, my husband's family, very, very different story. There was a lot of certainty in his life as a child. So looking back now, I know that I was really, really attracted to that. And this is what causes us to be attracted to another person. Do you resonate with that, Jo?
And so that's the passion.
Yes, the passion comes
filling
from
a need in me.
Yes.
Is where deep passion comes from.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't really understand that very well, but that's exactly where it comes from.
Yes.
So is it true for you?
Similar for me. I was attracted to the responsibility, reliability, dependability of my husband, and because I was a little bit crazy, looking for some, needing to be grounded. That's what I felt like I needed. And yes, so I found that highly attractive.
Yes. And then what Esther Perel says, this is the kicker, is that then when you get them and you start your family and everything in your life is starting out, and maybe you have some kids, then you're actually expecting them to fulfill that part of your life for you. Like that, they'll just take care of the certainty. And often we also have this thing where maybe their parenting style can get under our skin a little bit, because although we're deeply attracted to it because it's a subconscious need that's not met, it can also really annoy us and make us crazy because it's not like our life growing up.
Yes, but that is what we were attracted to. There's lots going on here, isn't there?
There's a lot going on. And it's all in the years where you've got young children that are really demanding and are taking up a lot of your time. You're starting careers normally.
Yeah, pressure.
There's just so much else going on. So it's a huge thing, but understanding this is big. This is why we want to talk about it.
And often we don't come to understand our own parenting values prior to being parents. So throw us into the mix with all this going on, and then suddenly our values show up. And when they differ greatly, then that's when the real challenges begin.
Yeah, and that's why we want to put these two things together and kind of show. It's like a juxtaposition, because they don't seem to go together. But what I've found is that if it is possible to keep the passion alive, you have to start becoming conscious of the fact that your partner cannot meet that need for you. You can definitely ask him for things or her for things, but you can't actually expect them to fulfill that deep underlying need.
And this is when we can spiral downwards, when we blame the other person and expect them to continue filling that need for us. But when we become conscious and we can fill that need internally for ourselves, then it becomes easier, and it's not about losing self-responsibility, blaming the others, spiraling downwards. I remember when I began speaking about my divorce and someone said to me, oh, the year 12 divorce happens everywhere. I thought, what? Well, there's a name for it. This is a regular thing. And again, that's what happens. The spiral starts. And then I guess many people wait till year 12 because then the responsibility of the children is somewhat more off our hands. And then we can make big decisions like divorce.
Yeah. But normally I think that if I've been able to work it out in my head, like why does that happen all the time? In my own marriage, I had to start facing up to the fact I couldn't. I had to start asking. I remember it took me 10 years to ask to be taken away on a weekend. I expected my husband to take care of that kind of thing for me, and maybe that came from things that happened in my own childhood too. But as we grow up, we actually have to learn to ask for these things for ourselves, and this can be really difficult. And it brings up all sorts of emotion, shame, and
guilt,
and disappointment, and all your childhood programming as well. So your partner will. The interesting thing about this whole subconscious thing is that you get to address the programming in childhood, but all the times you were disappointed, or all the times you felt rejected, or all the times you felt betrayed, and by addressing those things you'll become more conscious. And again, I use tapping to help me let go and release those things in my body. And then you can start asking and using your voice and using that, like being more adult. It took me a long time to become an adult.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we have to grow up. They're like, well, so here we are parenting and we're really still behaving like children. But it really is about looking after our own inner child, isn't it?
Yeah, and then really, like, the passion can stay alive. Like, for me, that's what's happened anyway. As I've started to really be able to ask for what I want and tell my partner what I need, then the sky's the limit then. Like, it's just like anything's possible. But when you're coming from like a triggered place where you're bothered by them and you're blaming them, then that's like you say, Joe, the spiral. That's the spiral. So there's kind of only two ways to go.
But yeah, well, it is. I found in my past, and yesterday, that recently, it's far easier to blame others than take self-responsibility. Sometimes it's really hard to look in the mirror and own your own rubbish. It
really is a conscious choice to do that. Yes. And life is better doing that, but it's not the easy choice.
No. So we go through many of these topics in our Awaken Parenting courses. So it's not just about parenting; it's about far more.
Yeah. Because we want people to be parents, but also be having amazing, alive, passionate, intimate relationships at the same time. And it truly is possible.
It is possible. Yes. So how is it for you? What have you found? Can you do this, or has it been a challenge? We'd love to know.
Yeah, please tell us about your experience and what do you do to keep the passion alive.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Wednesday from Mooloolaba Beach, and inspire someone today.